What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode where we're actually going to be looking at a smaller group. Once again, we have looked at this group before, and today we're going to be looking at Tan with Louder. I think we should always support smaller groups. We all know that there are the bigger groups out there like BTS, Blackpink, Shiny, etc, 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 but we should also look at the groups that are now trying to get out there into the fame. So I would just say, let's not waste any more time and let's jump right into Tan with Louder. Before we start with today's content, I do want to say that if you do enjoy the content you see right now, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe so you stay updated on what I review, and maybe it's also going to be something that you want me to review. So if there is any suggestions, put them down in the comments below, but let's go and play. That's a lot of face softening on his face. Anyway, where is he? In space? Let me have a look at this. You know, this is the thing about CGI. It can look good, but it can also just look a little bit funky. I mean, here you can clearly see they are trying to do their best playing with stock footage, but, you know, it's always like, okay, they're smaller, so you can actually forgive them. That's a lot of crap in space. Can you imagine that in a few years? Space is going to look like this? Really good actually what they're doing here with the sound effect. At the moment you are in the bus, I think they're in a bus. You can actually hear the music nice and crisp, but when they go into space, it's a little bit more hollow. Even though in space you should not be able to hear anything. Kind of cool though. You know, it's again playing with the effects. You can see that whenever they filmed this, it was quite hot. They look a little bit sweaty, to be honest. And yeah, like here, let's have a look. Like here, you can clearly see that they didn't soften his face out, which is great. But you can also see that, damn, they are hot. And to be honest, it's hot here as well today. It's 38 degrees Celsius. It's pretty warm, and I'm still doing a review. Nice effect with the window wipers, even though there is no water outside, but... Okay, that actually got me by surprise. Again, very interesting here as well. Now we're going a little bit more into the international surroundings. You know, we have non-Koreans on set. You know, trying to reach that wider audience. That bus is going to crash 2000%. Okay, let me just hold up a little bit, okay? So, this is how you know whether CGI is good or not. At this element, you can see it's still okay. Like, they're playing with the dimensions, adding a lot of shake, so it basically gets rid of all those imperfections. It's a very useful tool. But there are some shots like this, where it looks a little bit out of place, and that's because it doesn't really do anything. I mean, let's actually see. Do they even include shadows or anything of the bus going through? See, there's not even a shadow or something there. Like, the bus is very pink. Normally, if you have, you know, bright lights like this, you know, on the outside, it's a bright day, and you have a very pink bus like we see here. Normally, what will happen is it will more or less pink up everything. Everything in the surroundings will have a little bit of a shimmer to it, a bit of a pink glow to it, but none of that is there, nor is there actually a shadow. So the bus here feels a little bit out of place. Again, if you play with CGI, if you play with all these 3D elements, make sure they also fit in the surroundings. It's costly, and again, it's a smaller group, I can understand it, but this is how you bring it to the next level. You know, make it part of where it actually is taking place. To be honest, they did a very good job here with this one particular shot. Oh, sorry. Is it this one? I think it's this one. So we have the shot here where we're just getting that first person perspective of the bus as if it's driving through the city. Maybe they should have done this instead of showing the bus, because this is actually cool. You know, this is actually where you're like, okay, I can imagine the bus driving through this crap hole or wherever it's taking place. Very cool. Like, actually filmed with a drone. Very nice. So this is basically a drone shot, nothing too crazy about it. Those things are freaking loud. I mean, these are normally these race drones, these acrobatic drones, and they get these shots like this. And what they do is they just add a bit of a filter on top of it, a layout, and you get this effect. Really nice though. But you can clearly see the difference in the camera quality of the cinema cameras and this camera, for example. But it's so nice that they're mixing it up. Very good transition. Again, simple but clean, effective. Really nice shot. I mean, we're now 1 minute and 40 seconds into the video. I do want to say that this is more or less up my sleeve as well to film like this. Like, this is how I would do it as well and try to approach it with the equipment I have. I still believe that if you do a project and you are on a smaller budget, try to minimalize everything. Try to have fun with it, play with the stuff you have. And this is something that I would try to brew as well. So this or more or less would be my level. Of course, I don't have an artistic team, to do makeup and everything, but those things you can always buy. You can always make sure that someone like that is on set as well. Really nice shots, from what we see here. All the dimensions, they're trying to really just pull the surroundings high, out of each other a little bit, not making it flat, to give it a bit of a 3D effect to it, especially what we see here. And are they actually going to film here a little bit more? Because this looks like an awesome place to do an MV or a photo shoot. I mean, it's an interesting choreography, Reminds me a little bit of King Kong. King Kong, Donkey Kong. Nice effect actually there with the no war. So I like the setup. I like where they're filming it. It's a real life location. I would have approached it exactly the same. The one thing I would have changed in this particular part is maybe to not use as many lights in the background. It lights up the surroundings a little bit too much. Like, I like the depth behind it, but the lights are very intense. It really just makes everything look smaller than what it could be. Maybe they were able to put them further away actually, but this is like what, maybe 10 meters from them standing. It just makes the room look smaller than what it could be. Again, it's just playing with perspectives a little bit. You can clearly see that this again is a green screen room, but it's fine. But you can also just see, like, look, this is group one, this is another group, and they just mask them over the top of each other. It looks fine. It looks a bit out of place because they look very sharp compared to the background. And again, that's the problem with cheapening out on green screen. Maybe they should have just skipped it and just stayed with the real life location actually. It's a very hard choreography to film actually. Like, it's a choreography that is not very, it doesn't move too much, but I think what could have helped them here with the choreography, where is it actually? Let's actually have a look at that again. Here. Maybe it would have helped them to not wear these baggy clothes because it makes them look a little bit rounder than what they should be. Maybe if they were a little bit tighter clothes, a little bit more skin, it would have helped with the movement. And also if they were in a location that displayed their skin color a little bit better. If we look at the surrounding here, for example, it's quite, well, skin color toned, like if we look at the skin that they have and the skin that is in the background, the colors at least, they are very similar. Could have maybe helped out a little bit. Because the choreography is actually quite smooth in some parts. It's just the way it's filmed, it doesn't pick it up 100%. Cool shot. I mean, you have to think about it. Still, for a very small group, it looks good. So I just started watching The Boys on Netflix. If you didn't watch it, go give it a shot. But if we look at the special effects, it looks nothing compared to this. I mean, they really made sure that the powers felt real. They felt impactful. And they do that as well with sound effects. Maybe they could have charged it up a little bit, add a bit of a sound effect to it, a little bit of sparkling effect, I don't know, but something to make it feel bigger than what it is. It just feels a little bit flat at the moment, because they did put effort into making elements look purple. And also here, a little bit of an explosion. Something should have happened here, but they could have, I don't know, they could have added it, but they just didn't. Okay, we just went shirtless and we have water. I actually want to analyze this scene a little bit, because I do like it. I think, again, it looks so much better because we actually see the people nice and clear. It's very good and contrasting. And yeah, it looks great. You can also see a little bit of a barrier going around here with their mini pool, if I could say so. But it looks good. This is my favorite part. So what's going to happen? Is that a whale? Why is there even a whale in the background? Like, did they just find this asset and they thought, okay, let's put it there? Oh, it's so warm today. I even put gel in my hair and then it's just melts away out of my hair. But what's with the whales? And they're transparent? I'm so confused just. And we still have like a minute of clips. Yeah, you can just see the amount of green screen that is there. I mean, I like the green screen. I think green screen can be amazing, but you really need to make sure that you have the assets, you know. And it's also nice that they actually show a little bit of this in the background. Maybe they didn't have enough time to make it behind the scenes, but I do like what we see here. You know, it's a little bit of a couple of bloopers in the background. It's nice. Looks good. I really think this is a good idea. But guys, what do you actually think of it? Did you enjoy Tan with Louder or did you not? I really want to hear your opinion as well. I mean, guys, I do want to know what you actually think of this MV. What do you think of newer groups actually coming to the K-pop world? Do you think it's a very hard market to enter? Do you think that Tan will get further than this? Do you think they will ever go international? I would love to hear your comments as well in the comment section on this perspective. But when it comes to the videography and when it comes to the set design, I think they did a good job in what they had. They really tried to cramp as much as cool stuff in a small MV, which is nice. I think this is really, it's a bit ballsy, let me say it like that. But again, I would prefer it if they actually just tried to make this world in a real life location. Buy a lot of plastic bottles, throw them on a set. It would just look so good. I mean, there were a couple of sets where they actually did do that. They had some places, for example, here, where they actually did make it look like as if the world is a bad place, that it has a lot of pollution going on. It would have just made it a little bit better. I prefer to play with this, but then again, it's also a little bit more time consuming to set everything up. You know, time is not on everyone's side, and a film like this is maybe done in what, 1 or 2 days if we look at all the behind the scenes of many big K-pop stars. Yeah, so time is a big problem for sure. But yes, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if you do, of course, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe, and if you have any suggestions, like always, you're always welcome to just put them down in the comments below. I would love to hear what you have to say. But for now, I just want to say I'm out, and I hope you enjoyed. But for now, stay awesome, stay happy, and stay healthy. I'll catch you then.